The rivalry between Marvel Cinematic Universe and DC Extended Universe dates back even before the release of Man of Steel. Movie buffs love these universes, but while one is loved by many, other faces huge criticism as well. Box office records and fan claims prove that MCU is more popular and successful than DCEU. On the other hand, DCEU fans are obsessed with dark and tragic storylines. Even the biggest directors like Martin Scorsese don't praise MCU, yet it is more successful than DCEU. Let's find out a few reasons why everyone seems to like MCU more.
Are you Tony Stank?
Yes, this is Tony Stank.
Comedy. One of the many reasons why people love Marvel movies is their comedy sequences. The banter between characters and their personal moments with a bit of gimmick is what successfully catches the attention of the audience. However, DCEU movies, being rather dark and serious, lack depth and humor. Even if directors add some funny scenes in the movie, they are plain, flat, and quite boring.
Bruce said something about you having to take us all to brunch?
Oh, see, now that's cold. That's a betrayal.
Here, MCU takes the edge over DCEU.
I am Groot.
That's right.
I am Groot.
No!
It's no secret that the DCEU is simply a pale imitation of MCU's strong idea of a cinematic universe. In Batman vs. Superman, DC turned Batman's seriousness into the butt of every joke, just like in the Lego Movie, and characterized the Flash as a hyperactive nerd whose every line was a reference to the other heroes. Cinematic experience. Marvel Universe is the pioneer of establishing cinematic experience within superhero movies. Before Marvel Studios introduced superhero movies with cinematic viewing experience, they were only a show of jokes, inciting incidents, and action sequences. Now, box office records confirm that no other franchise has shaped the cinematic viewing experience better than Marvel has done. Marvel established this viewing experience, and all other franchises, including DCEU, are just following the footsteps of Marvel. DC films are frantically trying to catch up, forcing 5 years' worth of MCU story development into one movie. Justice League. Justice League solely stands as one of the major reasons why MCU is more popular. MCU gave each character a proper introduction and screen time before showing them all together in the Avengers. DCEU, however, gathered all characters in Justice League without proper character development except for a few major characters. The movie created huge hype before it released, so much so that some people have only watched Justice League from the DCEU franchise, and mostly everyone who saw the movie walked out of the cinemas disappointed. Even the DCEU fans believe Justice League was a mishap. It's actually Warner Bros.' biggest misfire yet, both financially and critically. The film has only grossed $197,407,025 domestically thus far. There's even a chance that the studio could lose money on the film. Contrast this with Marvel's first Avengers movie, which ranked in $686,549,200 domestically if adjusted for inflation.
Dr. Banner, now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
I'm always angry.
Listening to the audience. MCU is known for listening to its audience and fan base. They are all ears to what audiences have to offer. On the contrary, DCEU thinks they know better than their fans. Even when they projected some of their oldest beings as a villain, MCU paid attention to all little fan requirements so much to the point that the biggest criticism on the Avengers Endgame was it is the 3-hour-long fan service. Even though it was a criticism, it worked as a silver lining for MCU. Fans were rejoiced by the Avengers Endgame, like when they were happy because MCU listened to them about releasing a solo movie for Captain Marvel or giving a big edge to Thanos in Avengers. DCEU might believe they are better creators than fans, but at the end of the day, they are the ones buying tickets. Accurate casting. Marvel has never made a bad choice while casting. One time they did cast Edward Norton to play Bruce, but as soon as they realized their mistake, he was quickly replaced. Marvel made some excellent casting choices like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man or Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. Tom Holland is the most loved Spider-Man of all. Each of the MCU cast is just beyond perfect. However, DCEU made huge blunders when it came to casting. Other than Jason Momoa as Aquaman and Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, almost all DCEU cast is a misfit. There is currently no Superman, and Batman keeps on changing. Now when we're looking towards Robert Pattinson as Batman, there is not much hope as there isn't any background or previous performance of Pattinson which could radiate positive vibes. He is undoubtedly handsome, but there are some questions about how his Prince Charming sort of personality is going to justify Batman's dark character. Experimenting with different directors' style. Each MCU movie is a representation of a unique and diverse directorial style. DCEU, on the other hand, is the same copy of typical Zack Snyder style. The Zack Snyder style of filmmaking set the house style for the DCEU with Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, and half of Justice League, and it's just terrible. The action sequences are full of super slow motion, the editing is more like that of a music video than a movie, and the color grading is dark and gloomy and saturated. On the other hand, Iron Man was directed by Jon Favreau in his directorial style. Thor had the distinctive Shakespearean weight of Kenneth Branagh's theatrical direction. Captain America, the first Avenger, had the same pulpy feel as Joe Johnston's other movies. Every movie in the MCU has the personal stamp of its director. Abandoning Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. MCU had to establish its universe from scratch. They did it so with a small group of established superheroes. They built on that and gave us Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, Black Panther, and other then obscure properties. Then they went towards Avengers. DCEU, instead of utilizing the pre-existing universe it had, copied MCU and tried to start everything from the start. Even though Man of Steel is where it all started, Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy should be the literal start of the DCEU universe. Making Batman and Superman murderers. Zack Snyder's style of introducing a gray line to its character is not always a good approach. Superman was never a murderer. He saves people, he doesn't kill them. Batman had previously killed people in comics, but it was only in a very serious situation. Snyder, however, showed Batman as a relentless guy who shoots everyone, and when Superman murdered General Zod, audience felt betrayed. Interesting action scenes. MCU has much better action scenes than DCEU. Every superhero genre fan wants to see amazing action scenes, which MCU gives them. DC movies' action scenes don't have any character moments, whereas Marvel movies' action scenes just use the action to string the character moments together. The MCU brings comic book pages to life, whereas comic book pages are more exciting than DCEU action scenes. Let us know in the comments section which universe is your favorite, and if you want to see more videos like this, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.